The boardroom was tense, the air heavy with unspoken worry. Mark, the usually composed CEO, sat at the head of the table, staring blankly out the window. His team presented the quarterly earnings, but Mark seemed distant, lost in thought. Sarah, the CFO, paused. "Mark, any thoughts on these projections?" Mark blinked, confused. "Projections? Right, let's double them. We need to be more aggressive." The team exchanged uneasy glances. This was not the Mark they knew. Later, Mark wandered the office, ignoring familiar faces, moving objects on a junior developer's desk into a perfect line. The developer watched, bewildered. Mark finished, nodded, and walked away without a word. In a client meeting, Mark interrupted with a rambling fishing story, unrelated to business. Colleagues tried to redirect him, but he laughed at odd moments and fell silent when questioned. The man who built the company with sharp insight was now its biggest liability. Something was wrong, but no one knew what. Mark's warmth and memory were gone, replaced by a strange detachment. He moved through the office like a ghost, unsettling everyone. The team whispered, unsure how to help. Mark's behavior grew more erratic, his decisions reckless. The company's foundation felt shaky. The leader they relied on was slipping away, and fear crept in. The boardroom, once a place of strategy, became a stage for confusion. Mark's decline was impossible to ignore. The man in the corner office was becoming a stranger. The team watched, powerless, as their leader unraveled. The company's future hung in the balance. No one could guess what was truly happening inside Mark's mind. The crisis had only just begun. Mark was a man of routine up at 5, running, reading, always sharp. His reliability was legendary, his mind a steel trap. But now, he forgot appointments and missed crucial meetings. At home, his wife Emily saw him struggle with simple choices like picking a tie. He asked the same questions, repeatedly bought an expensive car on impulse. His personality shifted, once patient, now irritable and blunt. He snapped at his team, lost his filter, and laughed inappropriately. The great listener became a relentless talker, veering off on odd tangents. Emily tried to reach him. "Mark, are you okay? You don't seem like yourself." He brushed her off, insisting he was fine, oblivious to the changes. To Mark, everything felt normal. To everyone else, he was fading. The man they knew was vanishing, replaced by someone unpredictable. Emily mourned the loss of the man she loved, even as he stood beside her. The transformation was undeniable, and it was accelerating. Mark's world was unraveling, and no one could stop it. The stranger in the mirror was here to stay. The foundation of his life, his mind was crumbling. The question was why? Whispers spread through the office. Mark was zoning out, making odd decisions. Managers shared stories of confusion and canceled projects with no explanation. The team tried to cover for him, but unease grew. At home, his children withdrew, hurt by his distance and unpredictability. One night, Lily talked about her school play, but Mark ignored her, obsessing over the silverware. Family dinners became tense and silent. Emily felt isolated, living with a stranger. She wondered, was it stress, a midlife crisis, or something worse? Senior executives met in secret, worried about the company's future. Emily reached out to Mark's brother, desperate for help. "Something is wrong," she said, her voice breaking. The people who loved Mark were united by fear. The man they knew was slipping away, and they were powerless. The crisis deepened, both at home and at work. The search for answers became urgent. Emily convinced Mark to see the doctor, framing it as a routine checkup. The doctor, familiar with Mark's high-stress job, suspected burnout or depression. Tests came back normal. Mark was prescribed antidepressants and told to rest. The diagnosis seemed logical, but Mark's symptoms worsened. He grew more impulsive, emotionally flat, and uncooperative in therapy. The therapist echoed the burnout diagnosis. Weeks passed, but nothing improved. The label of stress stuck, but it didn't fit. Emily's doubts grew. This wasn't depression. Mark was fading, not fighting. The medical system had missed something crucial. Emily felt despair. The real problem remained hidden. The wrong diagnosis gave false comfort. Mark's true illness continued its silent work. The family watched, helpless, as he slipped further away. The answer they needed was still out of reach. Time was running out. The stakes were higher than anyone realized. The search for the truth had to continue. Emily refused to give up. The breaking point came on Lily's 16th birthday. The family gathered in the backyard, hoping for a normal day. Lily handed Mark a gift. "Dad, this one's from you and Mom." Mark looked at her, confused. "And you are?" The question shattered the moment. Lily's face crumpled. "It's me, Lily!" Mark stared, uncomprehending. In that instant, he'd forgotten his own daughter. Emily's hope collapsed. This was not stress or depression. No burnout could erase a child's name. Emily hugged Lily as she sobbed, staring at her husband in disbelief. Mark looked on, puzzled, unaware of the devastation. The truth was undeniable. Something catastrophic was happening in Mark's brain. The wrong diagnosis was no longer an option. Emily's fear turned to resolve. The family's crisis had reached its peak. The time for answers had come. The search for the real cause would begin now. Everything depended on what they discovered next. The fight for Mark's life was about to change course. Emily demanded a referral to a neurologist after the birthday incident. The neurologist listened, ran tests, and ordered an MRI. Mark struggled with memory and coordination during the exam. The MRI day was tense. Emily was anxious, Mark indifferent. Days later, they sat in the neurologist's office staring at a brain scan. A white mass glowed at the front of Mark's brain. "This is a meningioma," the doctor explained, a tumor pressing on the frontal lobe. It was likely benign, but its size and location were dangerous. Suddenly everything made sense. The mood swings, poor judgment, memory loss. The tumor was the culprit, not Mark. The family's confusion turned to clarity. The diagnosis was terrifying, but it was also a relief. They finally had an answer. The invisible enemy had a name. Now, they could fight back. The path forward was clear. The neurologist explained, "The frontal lobe is the brain's CEO. It controls personality, judgment, and impulse. The tumor was like an intruder in the control room, disrupting everything. That's why Mark's behavior changed so drastically. The frontal lobe shapes who we are, our plans, our social skills, our self-control. Pressure from the tumor caused Mark's impulsivity, poor judgment, and memory loss. The symptoms mimicked psychiatric illness, but the cause was physical. For Emily, the explanation brought relief. Mark wasn't lost, he was trapped by a medical condition. The diagnosis offered hope. A tumor could be treated. The man she loved was still there, waiting to be freed. The family prepared for the next battle. The enemy was visible at last. The fight for Mark's mind had a new focus. Surgery was the answer. The neurosurgeon explained the plan, removed the tumor, relieved the pressure. The prognosis was good. Mark, now understanding the cause, was cooperative and hopeful. The family rallied, bracing for the challenge. The operation was long but successful. The tumor was gone. Relief swept over the family. Recovery was slow, but signs of the old Mark emerged. He recognized Emily, called his children by name. As his brain healed, his true self returned. Therapy helped him regain strength and clarity. There were setbacks, but progress was steady. The family supported him every step. Lily and Mark rebuilt their bond, piece by piece. Emily saw the warmth return to his eyes. The stranger was gone, her husband was back. The long road was worth every step. A year later, Mark returned to life, changed but himself. He took a less stressful role, cherishing time with family. The laughter returned, the darkness faded. Mark's story is a lesson. The brain is the organ of personality. Sudden changes in behavior should never be ignored. Sometimes the cause is medical, not mental. The brain's signals can be subtle. Listen closely. Mark's case is rare, but it reminds us to be vigilant. Advocate for yourself and loved ones. Keep asking questions until the answer fits. Most personality changes aren't tumors, but all deserve attention. Compassion and curiosity can save lives. Seek professional help for unexplained changes. The brain always tells a story. Don't miss the message. Healing and hope are possible when we listen.